The young and the restless. That about Nick is always a role that is loved by many audiences. He's always a strong guy that attracts a lot of girls. The son of Victor Newman and Nikki Newman, Nick was born in 1988 and was played by a series of child actors until he entered his teens in 1994 with actor Joshua Morrow entering the role. From 1996 until 2000, he received 5 consecutive Daytime Emmy Awards nominations for Outstanding Young Actors for his work on Y&R. Nick was born on New Year's Eve in 1998, although Nikki and Victor were divorced at the time, so he became close to his stepfather Jack Abbott. Returning from boarding school as a teenager, Nick briefly dated Amy Wilson before falling in love with his best friend, Sharon Collins. Victor approves the match, but Nikki insists Sharon is a gold miner. Believing Sharon to be a virgin, Nick agreed to wait, but was startled to learn that Sharon actually had a child she gave up to adopt when she was 16 years old. Their relationship also struggled when Sharon was raped by her former lover, Matt, and Nick suspected of shooting him. But the two eventually married and Sharon gave birth to their son, Noah, soon. Noah's anxiety would die at birth. Sharon's best friend, Grace Turner, was watching over her long-lost daughter, Cassie. Although Grace tried to keep her to herself, she eventually gave Cassie to Sharon and Nick to stick with the girl. While their marriage faltered once again when Grace manipulated Nick into a love affair, they reunited as they fought for custody of Cassie. Matt returned to Geneva and raped Sharon again, so when she became pregnant, she wasn't sure who was the father. Tragically, she gave birth to a stillborn daughter, and it was revealed to be Nick's. The problems continued to tear Nick and Sharon when he slept with Grace and she met Diego Gutierrez. Nick tried to forgive her, but seeing Sharon kissing his father, Victor, was too much for him to handle. Too stunned, Sharon left town to regroup, and upon returning, she and Nick were able to reconcile. They could even fight Cameron Kirsten, who followed her to the city of Geneva to want her back. Unfortunately, in 2005, Cassie was killed in a car accident and Nick went to a very dark place, even deceiving Sharon with Phyllis Summers. When she was pregnant, Jack could be a baby, but after the paternity test returned to no avail, Nick lied and declared the child his. Nick divorced Sharon and married Phyllis shortly before the birth of their daughter, Summer Newman. Sharon revenged by marrying Jack. In 2007, the Newman jet crashed, causing Nick to be dead. Months later, Nick was revealed to be alive, but lost his memory. He returns to Geneva to believe that Cassie is still alive and that he is married to Sharon. However, when his memories return, he returns to Phyllis and Summer. When working with Sharon in a new magazine called Restless Style, Nick grew closer to his former lover and they shared a kiss in Paris that Phyllis witnessed. And when they were then frozen in the Abbott cabin, Nick and Sharon made love, making their reunion inevitable. Sharon gave birth to Nick's daughter, Faith, in 2009, although the infant was stolen by Adam Newman at birth and is thought to have died for months. Sharon was seduced by Adam and even married him, though she eventually returned to Nick so they could raise Faith together. But Nick was disgusted when Sharon couldn't resist his feelings and slept with Adam again. When Sharon was accused of murder, she ignored the town and let people think she was dead, so Nick had a brief relationship with Diane Jenkins and Avery Clark before returning to Phyllis. Nick and Phyllis's marriage was short and he returned to Avery. He also tried to start new with his career, leaving Newman Enterprises and opening a club he named the Underground. As Summer became enamored with Kyle Abbott, Nick worried they might be siblings and did another paternity test. This time it is revealed that Jack is Summer's father, although it is later revealed that Sharon, who turned off his bipolar medal, changed the outcome in hopes of regaining Nick. Nick turned his back on Sharon and took Faith from her, starting a romance with Sage Warner. When she became pregnant, there were many dramas about the baby since she slept with Adam, but Nick announced that he would give birth and marry Sage. Nick was furious to learn that Gabriel Bingham was actually his brother, Adam Newman, but then, his son, Christian, was born. Unfortunately, Patty Williams made a baby switch and gave the child to Sharon, who was led to believe he was the child she and Dylan had expected. Nick and Sage tried to adopt a baby, but the born mother changed her mind and kept the baby to herself. Nick was engaged to Avery, but they broke up after she missed their wedding to her ex-boyfriend, Dylan McAvoy. Nick hated Dylan until Nikki revealed that he was her son, turning them into half-siblings. Nick once again becomes closer to Sharon, who is panicking because she sees Cassie's vision, which turns out to be her long-lost twin sister, Mariah Copeland, who was hired by Victor to torture her. Nick and Sharon were eventually engaged, but Phyllis interrupted their wedding and the secret of Summer's paternity test transformation was finally revealed. After Sage was killed in a car accident, Nick was devastated, but that was nothing compared to his feelings of knowing that his Christian son was alive and that Sharon had raised him like her. When Adam is killed in an explosion, Nick comforts a grieving Chelsea Lawson, and that soon turns into a romance. But in the end, Chelsea went back to her old ways of plotting and bypassing the town with a bunch of money and her son, Connor. However, she left Christian and Nick later to learn that Adam was the boy's real father. Devastated, Nick accepted Sharon's offer to move in with her and Mariah at her home to get his head together, and that brought the two on a slow path to reunite. But when Victor pitted against Nick and Victoria again and even threatened to take Christian out of him, Nick considered leaving town for a new job opportunity in San Diego. However, he changed his mind and got stuck, taking revenge on his father by impersonating JT and torturing Victor while also building a new business he called Dark Horse to compete with Newman Enterprises. Because Adam returned from the dead and bought it from under his brothers and sisters. He also fought for Christian custody, which was even more complicated when Chelsea returned to Geneva. She and Nick initially cooperated against Adam, but eventually, Chelsea worried about Connor's actions and decided to reconcile with Adam for the sake of their son. Nick then began to grow closer to Phyllis, rekindling the old embers. Although they initially tried to resist the increasing attractiveness, the couple eventually gave in and made it official.
As of now, Y&R and sister soap Bold and the Beautiful remain shut down with no filming happening. But, way over in Australia, they resumed shooting their soap Neighbours in mid-April. The network there's taking precautions and isolating on various sets. That way, if one actor or crew member gets sick, they all shut down just one part of production affected. However, things seem to be going well with everything staying healthy as they shoot. As for Young and the Restless, though, it will be at least 2 months before production resumes. That's the latest estimate coming out of Hollywood for getting actors and crew back to work on the set of the soap, and other dramas. Right now, local officials in LA hope to get a report in a month with ideas on how to get back to work. That will then likely take weeks to implement. So, let's hope with the curve flattened that Young and the Restless is back to filming once it's safe to do so. For now, it's daily reruns reminding fans just how great their soap was back in its heyday. Will this strange situation push fans to demand better quality from the current regime? Young and the Restless wants to keep fans tuning in weekdays, so they don't lose their audience. And with no fresh episodes left to air, airing old ones is the only way to go. On the upside, doing theme weeks makes it more cohesive than random re-airings. However, there's a downside to choosing these top-notch old Young and the Restless episodes. When you watch them and then compare them to the material airing by the new writers, many fans think the writing was a lot better back in the day. So, while viewers are still tuning in now to see beloved Young and the Restless episodes from the past, it could be a problem later. Will fans be more critical of new episodes when they return? Is this hiatus the perfect time to rethink stale plots? Could ratings go down after the hiatus?